get in touch with Kate?
Yes. Buddy and Wanda are over there having supper with her.
Good. I don't want her to be alone.
Yeah, me too.
Did you, tell her that we're going to the top of the world club?
Yes. And I called Guy down at the bunkhouse and asked him if he would keep an eye on her.
Kind of strange, our worrying about Kate so much this way. She's one of the last of the real pioneer women. Bless her.
Yeah, I know. But she's lonely, and that makes a difference.
You love that woman, don't you?
Yes. So do you.
If we have a little girl, let's name her Catherine Victoria.
All right. And if it's a boy?
You decide.
Well, I think we should name him John after your daddy.
Maximilian after your daddy.
John Maximilian. Sounds real nice.
Now, we've got the names all picked out, but we don't have a baby to give them to.
We will, honey.
Oh, Philip, can you check that out on the table?
Sure. Busy?
Oh, hello, Elliot.
I'm sorry. Didn't mean to startle you.
Oh, that's all right. What can I do for you?
Well, you can smile and at least pretend you're happy to see me.
Of course I'm happy to see you. I'm sorry, it's just been kind of a hectic day.
Yeah. You look tired. Take a break and have dinner. That is, unless you're expecting Dennis to join you.
No, Dennis won't be joining me.
Oh, is he?
Hello, little sister. Well,
Hello, Mr. Carrington Page.
Justin.
did you hear the good news about your big brother? He struck oil.
Yes, I heard.
What is this gloom in the face of such extraordinary news? Doesn't it warrant at least a slight smile?
Congratulations, Justin.
Well, that's what I'm looking for. Listen, do you think you could find a table for two newly crowned oil barons without reservations, huh?
Could you just squeeze us in someplace, Paige? Follow me, please.
Great. See you around, Ellie.
Bye, Miss Carey.
Watch that last run. It looks like the rats have been chewing on it.
Rats.
Sure, this is an old barn.
Great.
Are you all right?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah.
Joe, you gotta be careful. That wound is dangerous. Maybe you ought to take one of those antibiotics the doctor gave you.
No, later, I'm fine.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Texas, starring Beverly McKinsey.
I've never gotten used to looking at the stars here in town. They seem so much farther away than they do down on the ranch.
Of course, darling. That's because the ranch is so much closer to heaven.
The ranch is heaven. Well, it used to be.
Max. Max, it still is.
Not with oil rigs surrounding it.
One oil rig, and we're going to forget that it's there.
I'm going to try, but it's not going to be easy.
Darling, you just can't allow this to ruin our lives like this. And that's exactly what's going to happen unless you set your mind to not letting it tear you up.
I know. I promise I'll try.
I'll help you.
Sorry I'm late. I had to stop and see Ryan Connor.
Oh, is Ryan happy about Justin striking oil?
Well, he's not happy about Justin's part of it.
Oh, let's talk about something a little more pleasant.
Mother's absolutely right.
Judge Rayburn wants to sell his house down in Acapulco.
He's had the house for a long time, hasn't he? I used to remember going down there when I was still in grade school.
Yeah, well, he doesn't want to go down there anymore since his wife passed away.
I can understand that.
I was thinking of buying it.
Not really, Daddy.
Yeah, I think it'd be a good place for you and Max to take the children. As a matter of fact, why don't you fly on down there and take a look at it? Tell me what you think.
Well, I don't think we can get away from the ranch right now with Barrett gone.
No, I think it's terrible to have that house down there all by itself and no people. Besides, you and Rena never did have much of a honeymoon.
Well, like I say, it's going to be awful hard to get away with Barrett gone off.
Yeah. You think it over and let me know.
We will.
Are you two ready to go to dinner? Your father has to go to bed early tonight. He's got a hearing first thing in the morning.
Is that Dennis's sentencing?
No, they're not handing down Dennis's sentence till the day after tomorrow.
Do you think Dennis will go to jail, Stryker?
I don't know. I hope this theory about Foster killing Chris Shaw will help. How much remains to be seen.
Well, Justin certainly is pleased with himself.
Yes, he is, isn't he?
You said Dennis wasn't joining you for dinner. Do you know where he is?
No, not really.
When I stopped by Iris's and Vivian said that he left over an hour ago, I thought he might have come here.
Actually, I think he's at home, William.
Well, if he's at home, then why couldn't he join us here for dinner? I'll call him.
No. Please don't.
Are things really that bad between you and Dennis?
They're not very good.
Well, I suppose that's natural. It's just going to take Dennis time to adjust to being out of jail and being back together with you again.
Oh, Elliot, I'm trying to be so understanding, but the more understanding I am, the angrier he becomes.
Well, maybe he's not angry with you. Maybe he's suppressing his feelings about Alex's death, and those feelings are surfacing in other areas.
Maybe, but I don't think so.
But what has he said about Alex? Has he taken it badly?
He says that he's sorry for Iris's sake, but that he never really got to know Alex as a father, so he doesn't really have any feelings at all in that respect.
Well, then that's probably the problem. He probably feels guilty about that.
It's possible, but I don't really think that has anything to do with my problem.
Well, there's no use in dwelling on your problems when you're tired. Why don't you take a break and we'll have some dinner, hmm?
Thank you, but I really better not. The place is really pretty busy.
In that case, I think I'll go to the apartment and pay a visit on Dennis.
What was that?
Joe,
What's so funny?
it's Edgar.
Edgar?
Oh, did you frighten that big man over there?
What's a cat doing up here?
He lives here. Well, he'll keep you company when I'm not here during the day.
Yeah, well, not if he keeps sneaking around like that, he won't.
And at night, he'll keep the mice and the rats away.
Hey, look, you sure no one uses this barn?
Well, yeah, I'm sure. Not much.
What do you mean, not much? You said no one ever came in here.
Well, they hardly ever come in here. They store some of the bales of hay downstairs.
No wonder this place is infested.
Would you stop worrying now? If someone comes up here, you could hide behind these bales of hay over here.
Oh, man.
No, I'm going to go downstairs, and I'm going to get some blankets and some food. Is there anything you want in particular?
Do I got a choice?
Well, sure, knowing Kate, she probably has the most well-stocked refrigerator in Texas.
Man, right now, I could eat a horse.
Okay, then I'll surprise you, okay?
Right. Just don't surprise me coming up that ladder, huh?
Just stop worrying. You're safe here.
All right. Who is Kate, anyway?
Kate Marshall, this is her ranch we're on. She's the head of the Marshall family.
Wait a minute. I thought you said you had your own house.
Well, I do, but Jeb is in there now, and if I took something from that refrigerator, he'd notice. At least this way, Kate'll think it's one of the hands.
Won't somebody see you?
No, I'll be careful. I won't be back. I'll be back in a little while. I won't be long.
The reservation is for 4. Mr. and Miss Decker in the bar talking to someone. We'll wait here.
Uh-oh. Honey, Justin's here with Ashley.
Would you like to go somewhere else?
Well, after what happened at Iris's today between Justin and Rena,
What happened?
it wasn't very pleasant. I think we should leave.
And anything you say.
Isn't our table ready?
Honey, we're going to go to another restaurant.
What's wrong with this place?
Justin's here.
We are not going to let Justin ruin our evening. Come on, let's sit here.
Well, now, that doesn't look like a very friendly group, now, does it?
Nope.
I'm surprised they didn't turn around and go to another restaurant when they saw you.
I bet Vicky suggested it. I got a good idea that'll cheer them up.
What are you having for dinner, Harry?
Well, I want a steak and a baked potato. Sounds good to me. All the same.
No potato.
Mama, did you see Paige when you came in?
No.
She looks awful.
Rena.
Did you see her, Max?
Yes. And I have seen her look a lot happier than she is tonight.
She should be much happier. She and Dennis are staying together now.
She's been under quite a strain, Dennis in jail.
Well, at least she had the decency to stay away from Iris. I got to give her credit for that.
Oh, honey.
Otherwise, it would have been a big problem, Mother.
What are you lovely ladies ordering?
I haven't looked yet. Let me see. What are you going to have, Mama?
I think I'll have the soft shell crabs.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Anyone want a drink?
I'd like a glass of white wine.
Mr. Decker?
Yes.
Compliments of Mr. Marshall.
Tell Mr. Marshall that we'll buy our own champagne.
Well, hope you're thirsty.
I told you that they wouldn't accept that champagne.
Well, we gave it a try, didn't we?
I don't know why you insist on antagonizing them.
I just wanted to share a little of my good fortune with some friends. There's nothing wrong with that.
No, you did it to be mean. They've suffered enough. Why rub it in?
I didn't think I'd ever hear you defend Max and Miss Rena.
I am not defending them. I think that your behavior is very unbecoming. And I want you to stop, Justin. It embarrasses me.
Sorry. I'm really sorry if I embarrassed you. You just come put that right over here beside us. It's all right.
Yes, sir, Mr. Marshall.
Would you like some more champagne, darling?
No, thank you.
Now, I told you I was sorry.
And next time?
I promise there will not be a next time. What the devil has gotten into you?
Nothing's gotten into me. It's been a long day. I'm just tired.
Now, is that the polite way of saying that the evening will be finished when we've had our coffee? Ashley, this is the biggest day of my life. I wanted to spend every moment with you, and I thought you wanted the same thing.
Justin, I don't know what I want anymore.
Apples. Cheese. Bread.
What are you doing in here in the dark? Elena!
Hi, Kate.
You're out and about rather late, aren't you? Well, I was looking for you. I just come from the top of the World Club. I thought I'd find you there.
But you didn't.
No. I was hoping to have dinner with you and Paige, but she seemed rather busy, so I thought I'd see if you wanted to bite.
Well, I'm not really very hungry, Dad. Can I fix you a drink?
No, thank you.
You sure you won't join me in a drink, Dad? I mean, it's no fun drinking alone.
It doesn't seem to have stopped you so far.
What's that?
Dennis, what are you doing?
Dad, I'm fixing myself a little liquid refreshment.
I think you've had enough.
Enough? I'm just getting started.
Dennis, what is this all about?
Dad, you don't seem to understand. I'm in mourning for my father. Or my half-father, or my almost father. You know, I really don't know what to call Alex.
Are you that upset over Alex's death?
That has nothing to do with Alex, Dad. I mean, really, how can I be upset about a father I never had, right?
Well, then what is it?
It's a lot of things, Dad. But mostly it's Paige.
You love Paige.
Yes, I love Paige. And sometimes I hate Paige. I hate her more than I've ever hated anyone in my entire life.
I'm so glad to see you. Oh, we were so worried about you.
Well, I'm fine. I'm a little hungry, but I'm fine.
Well, I'm so glad.
You know, I went by the house, and Jeb wasn't there, and there wasn't anything to eat, so I came over here. I hope you don't mind.
Of course I don't mind. I'm just so surprised to see you. Are you sure you're all right?
Oh, yeah.
Well, then I'm going to fix you something to eat.
No, Kate, it's okay. I'll do it. I don't mind.
Do Max and Ricky know you're here?
No, I just got here.
Oh, well, Max and Rena went into town to dinner to the Top of the World Club. I'll call them.
No, Kate. Don't disturb them.
Well, they'll want to know you're all right.
And 2 orders of soft-shell crab. Thank you.
Say, listen, I got an idea. Why don't the 4 of us go out dancing after supper?
I don't want to go to any disco. They got all that canned music.
Well, I'm not talking about a disco. I want to go to the boathouse.
Honey, I think that's a terrific idea. I haven't danced with you since our wedding ceremony. Or you either, Daddy.
Oh, well, we were dancing at the Wiley party last week, and he is in pretty good form.
Is the boathouse a new place?
Yes, as a matter of fact, KVIK did a segment on it on the 6 o'clock news not too long ago.
That's where I saw it. That's where I got the idea.
Well, what is it?
Well, it's a boat. And it's on a lake, and they have Japanese lanterns all around. And, well, they built the dance floor right out over the water, and they play all the big band sounds.
Like the old days, Daddy, huh?
Hey, that sounds wonderful. I can't go tonight. I got to get up bright and early and go to court. But how about this weekend?
Oh, I want to go tonight.
Okay, you and I'll do it.
Excuse me, Mr. Decker? There's a phone call for you.
For me?
Yes.
Excuse me. I'll be right back.
I'm proud of you, honey,
Why, Mama?
for not allowing Justin to upset your evening.
Max and I talked about it earlier, and we decided not to let Justin ruin our life.
I'm glad to hear it.
I think it's good for Max to get into town away from the ranch and look into that rig all the time.
I know, Daddy. I'm going to do my best to keep him from getting upset. I mean, maybe Kate can help. I don't know. But if coming into town helps, believe me, we'll do that, too.
You're always welcome.
I can't believe it.
What is it, Max?
Elena's back at the ranch.
Is she all right?
Well, yeah, Kate says that Joe Foster let her go.
Where is Joe Foster?
Elena doesn't know where he was going.
Honey, do you want to go back to the ranch now?
Yes, but we just ordered dinner.
No, it's okay. Daddy, cancel dinner, and we'll call you later.
Listen, I'm sorry, String.
All right, son, go ahead.
Here we go. To new beginnings.
What new beginnings?
Well, we're not just celebrating a gusher here, Ashley. We're celebrating a whole new World Oil.
Oh?
Well, there are going to be some major changes at World Oil now that well, Alex is dead and I've struck oil.
What kind of changes?
Well, World Oil is going to be what will amount to 2 separate companies, one for oil production and one for oil transport.
But Ryan Connor will still be in control.
Well, technically, but he's not going to tell me what to do.
Are you going to have a fight on your hands?
Ashley, I don't have to fight with Ryan Connor. I just bought 21 parcels of land. any one of which will produce more oil than we're ever going to get out of the Harper place. And if my luck holds, and I know it's going to, the World Oil Division is going to be making money hand over fist.
And money talks.
That's right. That's right. Ryan Connor can't afford to argue with that kind of money. I don't care what he thinks about me. You gotta remember, he owns 1/3 of this company. What's good for me is good for him, too.
Did I tell you that he asked me to stay on as his executive secretary?
No. What'd you tell him?
Told him I would.
Wonderful. Now we got all the bases covered.
Uh-huh.
Well, that is, if you're still willing to help me, Ashley.
I am. I feel no particular loyalty to Ryan Connor.
Great. Great. Well, now that covers the business part of our relationship. Now, what about the personal side?
Well, now, that's going to be a little more difficult to settle, I'm afraid.
Well, I don't see why. I like you. You like me. We get along together. I don't see what the trouble could be. And don't you tell me it's Rena either.
No, it's you. Justin, you'll do anything to get what you want.
I know a lot of people like that. Including you, Ashley.
Oh, but there are limits to what I'll do. I don't think you have any limits, Justin. And that scares me. Because when you decide that you don't have any more use for me, you may just toss me out like an old shoe.
You're wrong. I'm ambitious, Ashley. Ruthless in business from time to time. But as for my personal life, that's a whole different matter.
Oh, Justin, that's just your word against my instincts.
I've got history on my side. For generations, the Marshall men have always treated their women with love, tenderness, and honor. There's never been a divorce in the Marshall family.
Oh, what about your brother, Barrett?
But his marriage just fell apart because he was ill and he wouldn't accept it.
Yes, I know. I'm sorry.
I've always treated the women that I've been with honestly, fairly. That won't change.
Justin, why didn't you marry Rena?
She wanted to run my life. She wanted to make me the vice president of her mother's TV station. Eventually head up the whole Victory Network.
Seems like you'd have jumped at the chance.
Yeah, well, that might have been the ideal position for some other guy. It's not what I wanted. When I marry Ashley, I want it to be a 50-50 partnership. The way it was for my mama, my daddy, and my grandma and my granddaddy. Marriage, actually, is a long way down the road for me. But I promise you here and now, wherever our relationship leads, I'll never hurt you.
Rena's going to have a harder time than she's willing to admit to.
Why?
I don't think Max is going to stay calm about those oil rigs for very much longer.
Oh, but honey, he's so happy right now about building a new house and making plans for the baby. Maybe he'll find a way to adjust to the whole situation.
I hope you're right. I wouldn't count on it.
Is that why you were talking about buying the judge's place in Acapulco?
Partly, but I think it'd be a good investment for us and a nice place to go for our long weekends. What do you think?
I agree with that.
I'd like to see Max get away from that ranch, broaden his thinking about a lot of things.
Yeah, it might, but honey, don't push it. Let Max and Rena make up their own mind.
I will.
Come on, it's been a long day. Let's go home and get some sleep.
thank you, Kate. That was delicious.
Would you like a piece of cake?
No, I'm fine. Thank you. Kate, how long are Ginny and Steve going to be in Virginia?
I talked to Ginny tonight. She sounds ready to come home tomorrow.
Kate, you must be real tired. Why don't you go upstairs and go to bed?
No, I'm fine.
Elena, how are you?
Oh, honey, I'm glad you're safe.
Where's Joe Foster? Stryker wants...
Wait, I can only answer one question at a time. Are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. You can see that for yourself.
When did Joe Foster let you go?
Tonight. He blindfolded me and brought me to this freight yard, and he got out of the car and he told me to count to 50 and that I should drive here without stopping it. And that's exactly what I did.
Well, you should have driven to the nearest police station.
No, I was too scared, Max.
Where did Joe hold you?
I don't know. I was blindfolded the whole time.
He didn't hurt you?
No.
Well, did he say anything about that might give us some idea about where he was going?
No. He probably just got on the next train.
Well, what time did he let you go? What time did you leave the freight yard?
I have no idea.
I imagine he took the money with him.
Well, I think so. I'm not really sure. See, I was blindfolded.
Well, Detective Donovan's probably already checked the freight yard by now anyway. Maybe he caught the guy before he could jump on a train. You did call Detective Donovan as soon as you got here, didn't you?
No.
Elena, why not?
Because I don't want the police coming out to this place, Max.
Elena, you have to talk to the police. Now, this guy kidnapped you. He could have killed you.
I don't want to talk to the police, Max.
You have to. You have to tell them everything you know so they can track this guy down.
No. I won't do that, Max.
How was work?
Oh, so. How's Iris?
Holding up?
It really must be fortunate that Alex's brother Grant is here in Houston now to help her, huh? Sounds like a very nice man from what you've said.
Yeah, he seems nice enough.
So, how are you?
I'm all right. Would you like me to fix you a little drink, huh?
No, thank you.
No?
No.
You know, Dad came by a little while ago.
Yeah, I know.
You do?
Came around the Top of the World Club looking for you.
Did you send him here?
He wanted to have dinner with us, Dennis. Actually, darling, he's very worried about you. He's afraid that Alex is upsetting you more than you're admitting to yourself.
I know that, Paige. I can tell when my own father is concerned with me.
You know, there must be a convention in town or something. I've never seen so many customers at the Top of the World Club.
Tired?
Exhausted. You?
A little.
Let's go to bed early tonight, shall we go?
Look, I'm not quite ready to turn in, Paige. Why don't you go ahead?
Dennis.
Don't, all right? Don't.
Please. Please don't pull away from me.
Look, I don't want that right now.
I want to be near you, darling. I want to comfort you.
And I want to be left alone.
I'm your wife. I'm a woman. I have needs.
Oh, your needs? I know all about those needs.
And what's that supposed to mean?
Don't push me.
I want to know exactly what you mean by that, Dennis.
Paige, just leave me alone,
Dennis.
all right? All right! It means that I can't kiss you. I can't go to bed with you. I can't even stand the thought of touching you. Is that what you wanted to hear, Paige?
The longer you take to call the police, the better chance Foster has of getting away.
Max, please don't shout at her.
Well, I can't believe she is acting so stupid. This man is a cold-blooded killer.
That is not true.
Max, that's enough.
He's not a bad person, Kate.
Well, I don't know what kind of number this guy has done on you, but he is wanted for the murder of 2 men. I suppose he told you he was innocent.
Max, now don't badger your sister.
You're being selfish, Elena. You're not the only one involved in this. Now, Foster shot Ricky. He could have killed him, and I want him caught.
You know, Ricky is my brother, too, Max.
Oh, honey. And he knows that.
You know, I am just so tired, and I can't talk to anybody tonight, especially the police. I wouldn't even understand their questions, and I couldn't tell them anything because I just don't know anything.
Max, honey, let her give a little rest tonight. Putting a lot of questions to her isn't going to solve anything.
The point is that she is the only lead the police have. Now, they have lots of people working overtime trying to find her. Now, if nothing else, we got to let them know that she's safe.
All right, you call them and you tell them that she cannot talk to anyone until tomorrow.
You want some more champagne?
Today's my limit. You better not have any more either. You'll never get out of bed tomorrow.
I may not get out of bed anyway. Particularly if you stay here with me.
You know, we have to go to Mr. Wheeler's funeral tomorrow.
Yeah, that's right.
Justin, when you were driving race cars, did you ever think about Dad?
It was always present for me. Maybe that's why I'm such a good driver.
Dad?
Well, I took risks. Nothing really foolish. I respected danger. I never tempted it.
I thought all race car drivers had a death wish.
Some did. Some won, some lost. I figured when my time came, well, it came. I'm not checking out any sooner than I have to, though.
Is that why you quit driving race cars?
No, I quit because my daddy died. Barrett was presumed dead. Stevie, 7 years old. I had obligations to the family. He committed suicide, you know.
I heard that. He lost everything.
Grandma almost lost the farm. Somehow she managed to hang on to it. You see, the Marshalls have been part of Texas for generations. And they will continue to be. I'm going to see to that.
I believe you will.
No matter how long it takes, Ashley.
Did you know that Alex Wheeler waited on Mrs. Wheeler for 25 years? 25 years, Justin.
Yeah.
I don't believe that I could ever do that for anyone. Could you?
I don't know. Maybe.
Is Elaine in bed?
She's taking a hot bath. Did you call Detective Donovan?
Yes. He wasn't very happy about not being able to ask Elaine any questions, but he said he understood.
Yeah, well, I wish I did.
Oh, come on, Jeff. The poor girl's worn out. She doesn't want to talk about Joe Foster tonight. Now, you can understand that, can't you? The guy's probably 1,000,000 miles away by now.
Yeah, he probably is.
Look, it's really late. Why don't we all go to bed, huh?
Say, listen, how did you know that Elaine had come back?
Oh, I didn't. I went to your cabin. I was looking for you, and I figured you might be over here.
Why were you looking for me?
I was over at the Harper place watching them cap off the oil over there. And I met Larlene Harper. You know, she's back from college.
Yeah, I saw her the other day.
Okay, now, you know that old boy, Bubba Wadsworth, you were telling me about?
Hmm?
Now, she's really afraid of him.
Afraid of him? Why?
I don't know why. I'm going to find out.
How long have you felt this way about me?
A while.
Is that why you wanted to sleep on the sofa?
That's why.
I guess being in jail, you had a lot of time to think about. No, being in jail had
nothing to do with it, Paige.
Is it the film, Dennis? Oh, Dennis. I made that years ago. It's over and done with. There is nothing I can do about it now.
It's not over and done with for me.
Why? What's changed? You said we were all past that.
I was wrong. Every time I hold you, every time I touch you, Paige, I think of those pictures Chris showed me. I think of the things you've done. I think of the men you've been with, and
Why you could forgive that at one time?
I thought I could, Paige.
Maybe it'll pass.
It's just getting worse.
Work it out.
We can't work it out.
We'll see a counselor.
A counselor? I don't want to see a counselor.
I guess it's only understandable that...
Oh, damn it, Paige. I wish you'd quit being so understanding.
I can't do anything, can I? I'm sorry, Dad. I don't know what else to do.
There's only one thing we can do.
Whatever you want.
What took you so long?
I ran into a little trouble.
What kind of trouble?
Well, Kate came into the kitchen while I was taking stuff out of the refrigerator, and then my brother and Jeb came in.
The one I talked to on the phone?
Yeah, Max.
Well, you didn't tell him where I was, did you?
No, of course not, but I had to wait till everybody went to sleep before I could sneak everything out.
Yeah, I was worried about you. I didn't know what happened.
Well, I'm sorry, but it wasn't my fault, but I brought you lots of great things.
Good. Oh.
Ta-da!
What's that supposed to be?
Well, it's not supposed to be anything. This is Bernie Bear.
Yeah, I know. Bernie hid the key to the locker in there, but why'd you bring it here?
Well, Bernie gave it to me for good luck, so I'm giving it to you.
Well, that's great, but as far as I can tell, it didn't bring you or Bernie too much good luck. So I'd appreciate it if you just take it back where you got it.
I think I will just ignore that remark.
So come on, where's the food?
Well, just be patient. It's coming.
That's easy for you to say. You haven't been sitting up here for the last 5 hours.
Okay, listen. I brought this for you. This is to keep you warm because it gets chilly up here.
My luck, these rats will probably pick this for the next nest.
You know, I'm sorry I ever said anything about rats. Okay, now listen, I got some clothes out of my brother Ricky's drawer. I think you could use some clean clothes. You should be about the same size that he is. And this.
Well, it's about time.
I hope it's enough. Next time I'm going to bring you some of Kate's chili. Though you probably have to eat it cold.
Great.
Well, I guess I better get back to the house before anybody misses me. You know, I had to wait till everybody was asleep before I could sneak out.
I bet they were pretty glad to see you. Everybody, your brother.
Yeah, they were.
You didn't tell them anything, did you?
No, I covered for you.
You're something else, you know that? I don't understand why you're doing this for me.
Joe, you saved my life.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you did when those men came running in after that money.
Look, Elaine, if I hadn't taken you hostage, your life would never have been in danger.
You know, I have this feeling about you.
What kind of feeling?
I just don't think you're as bad as you make yourself out to be.
Ah, so you're a social worker all of a sudden, huh?
I don't know. Look, I'll be back to see you tomorrow morning as soon as I can, okay?
Join us each weekday at this time for the continuing story of Texas.
Won't you sit down, Max?
I can't. I'm just furious with Elaine of her refusing to talk to the police last night.
She was exhausted, Max.
Well, that is no excuse. Now, it's just possible she could have told him something that would have helped him track down Joe Foster.
Honey, you're making yourself sick over this. Now just relax.
Detective Donovan couldn't understand it, and I can't either.
Max, let's at least be grateful that Elena's back home safe and sound.
Rena, there is a killer on the loose. Now, what if he decides to kidnap her again?
I don't think that's going to happen.
He's done that twice already. Now, what do you know about a crazy person like that and what he's going to do next?
Max, I doubt if he'd have let Elena go if he thought he had any further need for her.
She's safe out here on the ranch. Now, don't worry about Joe Foster. He's probably 1,000,000 miles away by now.
Hey, Edgar, old buddy. Why don't you come over and keep your Uncle Joe company while he eats his breakfast? Yeah. Let me see what your friend Elena brought me. You want some? Yeah, well, I'll tell you what. I'm getting a little tired of cold chicken myself. Oh, man. I gotta come up with a plan to get out of here.
Now, isn't the food here better than my cooking?
I'll offer to fix you breakfast.
Maybe tomorrow. We'll have breakfast in bed.
Oh, well, we'll see.
After the service, do you want to go over to Fisher Island, lie in the sun, maybe?
I have to go to work.
The office is closed today because of the funeral.
Well, it may be for the rest of the World Oil employees, but Ryan Connor called me and wanted me to come in this afternoon.
What for?
Beats me. He just called. I told him I would.
Why, you want to go over to Fisher Island this weekend?
Well, I don't have other plans. I'd love to.
Hey, Justin. I got to talk to you, buddy, right now.
Texas, starring Beverly McKenzie.
Well, I'm going upstairs to wake up Elena so she can go into the police station.
Jeb is planning to drive her in this afternoon. Just let her alone. Please.
You know, she seems almost sympathetic to the guy. Now, how can you be sympathetic towards someone who has shot your brother, killed a man, and kidnapped her twice? It just doesn't make any sense.
I doubt if it makes much sense to Elena either.
Well, maybe he hypnotized her or something.
I don't think so. I think Elena could have been so tired and so grateful just to be free.
Wonder if Elena's going to be all right while Rena and I go into Alex's funeral.
Well, I'll keep an eye on her, that's for sure, and Jeb's here.
I saw Jeb a little earlier. He was headed over to the Harper place. He sure is fascinated by that oil well.
Yeah. Well, he's as amazed as everyone else that wasn't a dry well.
Well, it must have been a high pool, close to the surface, because they sure didn't drill very long.
How do you know so much about oil drilling?
Living in Texas all my life, I was bound to pick up a few details here and there.
Kate, did you know Bubba Wadsworth?
No, I didn't, but I do remember that he got in trouble with the law a few years back.
Yeah, well, he was arrested for stock fraud, but he was released.
Justin's father was working with him on a project some time ago, but then for some reason he just pulled out.
Do you know what kind of project that was?
Well, it was an oil deal, but I wasn't interested in the details.
It just doesn't make any sense. I mean, that 1955 survey I found indicated that there was no oil on the Harper place, and that survey that Mike had done on his property and ours indicated there was oil.
Honey, don't you remember Daddy saying that those surveys were just to gauge the odds in finding oil, that most of the time they were wrong?
Yeah, but that's just it. If the survey was wrong about the Harper place, maybe Mike's survey was wrong too.
Well, it doesn't matter. Nobody's going to drill on my land.
Kate, what will you do if Justin starts asking again?
He can ask all he wants to. It won't happen.
Hello, Bubba.
Bubba, why don't you just take off that hat and join us?
Justin, you and I got to talk. Privately.
Guess that's my cue to go powder my nose.
Next time you're rude to Ashley, I'll knock you through the window.
We got troubles.
You've got trouble, Bubba. You just watch your mouth around Ashley.
Oh, I thought she was your loyal secretary.
She doesn't know anything about our little deal, and I would have kept that way.
Oh, I know, but I was just figuring that maybe...
Don't figure. Ashley is a very, very smart lady, so think before you say anything around her.
Okay. Okay, buddy, I'm sorry. I'll try to watch what I say. Now, how about having a snort?
Oh, what is this you're drinking, Rotgut? Ran into Clay Walton in the lobby.
Banker?
The very same. He said that based on the reports that he's gotten about the well, he'd be happy to invite me to talk to him about borrowing money from his bank anytime I want to make an appointment.
Well, that's good news.
Yeah.
Oh, boy, Wheeler's money just about used up.
So you just get me some statistics about capacity and flow, and I'll talk to Clay.
All right, I'll do it.
Bubba, what are you so fired up about?
It's old man Harper. I mean, he came into town last night and he got drunk.
I'm not surprised. Bubba, it's the first time in his whole life he's had more than $2 to spend.
Well, he just about tore up a honky-tonk over on Westheimer. Police picked him up, threw him in the drunk tank. And this morning he's up and talking a blue streak.
Let him talk. He doesn't know anything.
Well, I don't like it. I don't like the idea of him sounding off.
Why don't you go over and bail him out?
All right.
All right, I'll do that, but I think that geese is more trouble than he's worth.
Why don't you go over and advance him some money? Tell him to go to Memphis and visit his son, Junior.
I'll do what I can.
Be easy on him, will you, Bubba? With that temper of yours, you can give me a lot more trouble than Harper can.
What time is it?
It's still early. Would you like some coffee?
Yeah, but I better get a move on it. I'm gonna make it to Mom's.
You still driving her to the funeral home?
Yes, unless she decides to go in with Grant.
Must be a real consolation to Iris to have Alex's brother here now.
Well, Grant's taking care of a lot of the details for Mom. I'm sure she appreciates that.
Weren't they estranged for many years, though?
Yeah. But they were reconciled just before Alex died.
I don't know whether or not to go to Alex's funeral or not, Dennis.
That's up to you.
Well, I mean, I did work for him. He was the one that hired me at the Top of the World Club. And he was very good to me. I really feel I should go.
Then go, Paige.
I don't think that Iris would be very happy to have me there. Might be better not to cause a scene at a time like this.
Look, I don't think there's going to be a scene, Paige. Not on Mom's part.
Will it bother you if I'm there?
There are going to be a lot of people there, Paige. If you feel you want to go, then go.
I suppose people will be expecting me there since I'm your wife. Probably seem a little more proper. Dennis, do you want me to move out?
Look, let's not get into that, Paige. My sentence is tomorrow. After that, you may not have to go anywhere.
Lena's still sound asleep.
She'll probably sleep the rest of the day.
Did you talk to Iris this morning?
Yes, we had a long talk. I just hope she makes it through the funeral.
What's going on between her and Ryan?
That's a funny question to ask me.
Well, Ryan called me this morning, and whenever I mentioned Iris' name, he changed the subject. Are those two at odds again?
I want to tell you something, Kate. Ryan was the last person to see Alex. I think that Iris feels very guilty because she wasn't there when Alex died.
Well, I guess she'll get over that in time.
I hope so.
Do you think Alex's death will have any effect on the new oil production division?
I really don't know. My guess is that if Ryan continues to run the company, that Justin won't be there very long.
Do you think Ryan might decide not to go into oil production?
Well, Daddy says that Ryan doesn't want to have an oil production division, but I think the board of directors will have something to say about it.
Well, if it'll mean any money in their pockets, they'll vote for it.
I guess you're right. They will.
Justin came out for supper a couple of weeks ago.
It's a surprise. Did he want to talk about drilling?
I don't know what he wanted to talk about. But he brought a girl out here with him, Ashley Linden. Do you know her?
Yes, we've met.
She's kind of pretty. Very polite. She obviously comes from a fine family.
Well, her aunt and Iris went to the same boarding school in Switzerland.
Do you think Justin is serious about her?
Kate, I don't think Justin is serious about anything except making money and driving my poor Max crazy.
Your cousin Samantha lived with Justin for a while, didn't she?
For a very short time.
Well, it must have been serious for her to do that.
It was for Sam. For Justin, it was only a roommate.
You know, I think he wants to start a family.
Did he tell you that?
Not in so many words. But I have a feeling he's planning to marry that girl.
Kate, darling, let me tell you something. No two people deserve each other more.
Hey, Jim. Hey, Max,
how's this going?
This board came loose once before, and it ain't gonna come loose again.
Hey, Kate told me you went up to Harper Place this morning.
Yeah. Hey, you were up there, capped the well off.
Yeah, well, at least I won't have to see that gushing out of the ground anymore.
Yeah. Hey, is Elaine up yet?
No, the last time I checked on her, she was still asleep.
Yeah, well, I can understand that. I mean, after everything she's been through.
You know, Detective Donovan, he called, wanted to know when she's going into town.
Yeah, I know. I bet he's pretty anxious to ask her a few questions.
I talked to Ricky and Billy Joe. Billy Joe says he doesn't want the newspapers or the TV stations to know Elena is back home yet.
Why not?
Well, he figures that they'll be coming up here for interviews, and he wants to rest. I think that's best, especially for Kate.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Did you tell Donovan about that?
No, Billy Joe's going to take care of it.
You know, speaking of press and TV crew and stuff, I'm surprised Justin and Bubba Wadsworth don't have everybody up here looking at that rig. Huh?
Yeah, well, knowing Justin, that won't be long. Right now, he's probably posing for the cameras over at Alex Wheeler's funeral, and next he'll invite them all up over here to the Harper Place.
I don't like Bubba Wadsworth.
I don't like him either, Ashley, but he's a very good businessman, and he knows a lot about the oil business, and I can learn a lot from him.
The things you could learn from Bubba Wadsworth are probably best not knowing.
If you're talking about the time he was arrested for stock fraud, he wasn't even indicted for that.
I have always believed that where there's smoke, there's fire.
I've still got my hands firmly on the controls of this project for World Oil. And Bubba will be out in the field most of the time anyway. You're not gonna have to worry about him at all.
I don't worry about him. I worry about you. Justin, I just have a feeling that man is going to get you in trouble.
He's not going to cause me any trouble at all. He knows he's got as much to lose as I do. He's not going to put this project in jeopardy.
Unless he double-crosses you and tries to take everything for himself.
Let him try. I'll run him out of Texas.
You always wanted so much for your son. You wanted so much for us to stay together. Did everything you could. I never had a chance to thank you for that. Now it's too late. In a way, I'm glad you can't see what's happening. I love Dennis so much, Alex. But there's nothing I can do. I wanted so much to make him happy. Now it seems the only way to do that is just to let him go.
Paige.
Looks as if we're the first ones to arrive.
It's very sad it turned out this way, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Someone like Alex who had so much to live for.
Yes. It's unfortunate he wasn't able to fully enjoy the people and the things he'd worked so hard for.
Iris must be beside herself.
I saw her yesterday. She's taking it very badly. She keeps talking about all the wonderful plans she and Alex had.
You know, there's no love lost between Iris and me, but I feel so sorry for her right now.
Where's Dennis?
Oh, he went over to Iris's as soon as he got ready this morning.
Oh, I thought perhaps he was parking the car.
No, I came alone.
Why is that?
He wanted to be with Iris. I understand that.
Well, you should have called. I could have come by and picked you up.
Thank you. It was no trouble.
I'm surprised Dennis didn't suggest that I take you.
Well, I really wasn't certain that I was going to come.
But you knew Alex better than most people. You were his daughter-in-law. It's only right that you should want to pay your respects.
I wanted to, but in light of the things that have happened lately, I just didn't feel like I should.
I think it's right that you be here for Dennis, if for no other.
That would be the best reason to stay away.
So, what are you going to do when you get finished with the fence here?
Well, Guy was complaining about the roof on barn 3.
What's wrong with it?
I don't know, man, with the winter and the rain and all that sort of stuff. It's leaking. And so we're going to go up from the inside and patch it, and then when we get time, we're going to do it right.
Yeah, well, I'll take a look at it.
Hi, Max.
Well, hey, Lurleen. Say, listen, have you met Jeb Hampton?
We met yesterday. Hi, Jim.
Howdy.
So what are you doing? You taking a walk around the countryside getting reacquainted, are you?
I came by to say hello to Miss Kate.
Oh, well, Kate's not here. She and Rena went into town to the service for Alex Wheeler.
I'll come by and see her later then. I guess you're not too happy about the oil well coming in, are you?
No. I'd prefer to see grazing land, not oil rigs.
I understand how you feel, but my granddaddy's been working for 60 years raising cattle. He never had a cent to his name. He went into town yesterday and bought a new pickup truck. First one he's bought in 14 years.
Well, I don't begrudge the old man having nice things, Lurleen. Well, it's just I don't agree with the way he's getting them.
I hope you and Rena won't stop talking to me because of all this.
No, we wouldn't do that, Lurleen. Well, listen, I gotta get over to the barn and do some work. I'll see you over there, okay, Jeff?
Okay, Max.
Lurleen, bye.
I fell in love with Max Decker when I was 7 years old. I used to stand by the road in the morning and wait for him to come by and wave to me. One morning he didn't come by, and I cried all day because I thought he'd left the ranch or died.
Kids come up with the strangest little fantasies, don't they?
I asked him one day if he'd wait till I was grown up so we could marry. He said, sure. He was kidding, of course. But I believed that for a long time.
Well, Lurleen, I hope you got over it.
Oh, sure.
Good. Then you're happy.
Now that I'm rich, you bet I'm happy.
How are things going with you and Dennis?
Not well.
Paige, I think Dennis is more upset about Alex's death than he's even aware of himself. Finding out about your natural father and then losing him in a matter of days, it must be devastating.
I suppose so.
Dennis is also worried about the sentencing tomorrow. Though Stryker thinks that there's a chance the sentence could be suspended.
Elliot, I'm trying to take all of these things into consideration, but it's just not helping a great deal.
Well, once all of that is out of the way, I'm sure things will move much smoother for both you and Dennis.
Then it'll be too late.
I don't think it's ever too late for people who love each other and are willing to work to save their marriage.
I'm not really that certain that Dennis does love me.
Don't say that.
It's true. He can't even stand the thought of touching me.
What put an idea like that into your head?
Oh, Elliot, I shouldn't be talking like this.
I want to help you, Paige. I want to help Dennis, too. I know it's wrong to intervene in your personal lives this way, but I think it would be a terrible mistake if the two of you lost each other.
We had an argument.
When?
Last night. Dennis said some awful things.
Well, I don't think you should pay any attention to what Dennis says while he's in this state of mind.
It's very difficult not to, Elliot. Sometimes I think he hates me.
You have to be patient, Paige. Weigh the circumstances with how things were before all the trouble started.
I'm trying.
Dennis needs time.
All the time in the world won't change the way he feels for me now.
That's not true.
It is true, Elliot. I can't push myself on him any longer.
Paige.
I'm moving out.
What?
Today, after the services.
I think you're making a terrible mistake.
I think it's the only way that I can even save a part of my marriage. If I stay on in that apartment, I'll only drive Dennis away farther.
Wouldn't you like to have a lot of money?
Well, sure I would. Who wouldn't?
I don't think Max would. I think he'd be happy the rest of his life as a rancher and living in that cabin of his. I'm surprised he and Rena have stayed together as long as they have.
Why's that?
Well, Rena's used to life of luxury. Daughter of a famous lawyer. She's used to living in a big house in Houston with servants and everything.
Maybe Max is more important than that kind of stuff, you know?
Could be. I must admit, she and Max seem to be getting along pretty well now.
Yeah, well, you know, they're gonna build themselves a new house.
I didn't know that on the ranch.
Yeah, it's gonna be 3 stories, you know, so they can have a family and kids, all that sort of stuff.
Sounds wonderful. It's the kind of house me and my husband are gonna have. Ooh, with lots of servants and fancy chandeliers in all the rooms.
Husband? I didn't know you were married.
I'm not. That's what I want when I do find a husband. Now that my granddaddy has all this money coming in, shouldn't be too hard.
Oh, wait a minute. Are you trying to tell me that you don't care if a husband comes after just because you got money and stuff like that?
Sure, why not? Everybody's after something.
That's wrong, Lurleen. That's wrong, you know. That's no way to start off a marriage.
When I find the man I want, I really don't care what his reasons for marrying me are.
Okay, that's fine. As long as you got that under control, that's fine.
How come a cute thing like you isn't married?
What? I was engaged once.
What happened?
It didn't work out.
I couldn't imagine any girl thinking of running out on you.
I'm not the marrying kind.
I bet you broke her heart.
No, it was a mutual. Look, you know, you're big on marriage all of a sudden here.
Ever since my folks died, I've been pretty much alone. Granddad'd be out all day taking care of the ranch. And night times he'd be off a lot playing poker.
That could be lonely.
Yeah, it got to me every so often. Anyway, the one thing that I want more than anything in this world is to have a family. And I'm gonna have it.
This is Justin Marshall.
Hello, Mr.
Miss
Whitley. Hello, Miss Whitley.
Mr. Whitley used to play golf with Mr. Wheeler, and he's on the board of directors.
Oh, Mr. Whitley, you were a friend of my dad's.
Yes.
Mike Marshall.
I was. He's a fine man. I'm sorry to meet you under such a sad occasion.
Yes, Mr. Whitley, it is.
We're all going to miss Alex so much.
Yes, I'm certainly sure of that. Would you excuse me, please? I'd like to say hello to my sister.
Certainly.
Sure.
Actually, have you spoken with Iris today? Just briefly.
You look worse than you did last night, Paige.
Why don't you go and sit by somebody else, all right?
Alex was a very sick man.
I'm aware of that, Justin.
I doubt whether he would have ever recovered. There was so much pressure on him.
Why don't you just go tell your theories to someone else, all right? I really don't want to hear them right at the moment.
I think you're upset about more than Alex's death. What's going on with you, Paige?
It's none of your business.
Of course it's my business, Paige. You're my sister.
You just tend to your oil wells, brother dear. Just leave me alone.
I'm gonna make millions off of that well, Paige.
Good for you.
I just wanted to share a little of my good luck with you.
You never shared anything with me in your entire life.
It's never too late to start.
Oh, yes, it is, brother dear.
Paige, if my generosity offends you, maybe we can make a business deal. I'll buy your share of the ranch. You name the price.
I understood you were coming with Iris.
Well, she should be here shortly, Dad. Grant's driving her in her car. I came in mine.
How is she?
She's still pretty shaken. But Grant's been a great help to her.
Well, I'm sure it's meant a great deal to her to have you with her at a time like this.
I guess so.
How's Vivian? Last time I saw her, she was having a pretty rough time of it.
Well, she's putting on an act for Mom, but she's taking it pretty hard.
How are you?
All right.
Are you?
I never really got a chance to know Alex very well.
He was your father.
I know. But it just doesn't seem real to me.
It must bother you a great deal that you never really got to know him.
Why are you saying this, Dad?
I feel it's important to talk about feelings like this. When people die, we sometimes have feelings we don't like to admit we have. Feelings of anger and resentment. Feeling of being abandoned. Something that we want very much is being taken away from us.
Well, if I have those feelings, I'm not aware of them.
I think it's important that you do become aware of them.
Why?
Because I think it's affecting your relationship with Paige.
So that's it, huh?
Paige is very upset, Dennis. She's talking about moving out.
She also the one who asked you to talk to me?
Of course not. In fact, she asked me not to.
But you decided to go against her request.
In this instance, yes.
You know, you surprised me, Dad.
What do you mean?
Well, you're usually the one who's angry when Mom tries to run my life.
I would never presume to run your life.
Well, then what is it you're trying to do?
I'm trying to help my son.
I think I'm old enough to take care of myself, Dad. I love you very much. But I just as soon you kept out of my personal life.
Listen, I understand you wanting a family and kids and all that kind of stuff, but aren't you kind of young?
You think it's wrong to want something that much?
Well, no, it's not wrong. It's just that, well, you know, you kind of, well, you surprised me here with your determination.
I guess that's because I was shy so long. I guess I'm just overcompensating now. I bet you'd never guess I was shy.
Oh, no,
I was.
Yeah.
All through high school and even my first 2 years of college. I was always standing at the dance off to one side, scared to death someone's going to come up and ask me to dance.
What happened all of a sudden here?
Everything changed for me when that well came in yesterday.
What? Yeah,
Money makes people think different.
That's right, it does. Money talks. I guess it gives you confidence there, huh?
I'm not just talking about myself. I'm talking about everybody around me. I was down at the post office yesterday, and well, you've never seen such a change come over people. Folks who'd never given me the time of day, tripping over themselves to say hello.
That's not right.
I don't care. I'd much rather have people talking to me because of the money I'm going to have than not talking to me at all.
No, what I'm saying is people should, just because you have money all of a sudden and they start talking to you, that's wrong.
It's all right. Or at least I understand it. I know I'm not the most attractive person in the world.
No, don't say that.
I know it's true. And I was always so tongue-tied when people talk to me. I don't blame them for finally giving up. But all that's changed now.
Yeah.
Knowing all that money's coming in, it makes me attractive in a different way. I don't mind that. I don't mind it at all.
Well, think about it. I'll call you later.
Fine.
I think it's a golden opportunity for you.
Justin.
You never did like the ranch. You certainly never liked Grandma. What's the problem?
Certainly is beginning to fill up, isn't it?
What did you say to your sister to upset her so?
I offered to buy her shares of the ranch.
Oh, Justin. How could you bring that up at a time like this?
It was on my mind.
How can you be so insensitive?
I wanted to help her out. What's wrong with that?
Hello, Mrs. Marshall. Miss Rena.
Hello, Grandma. I don't suppose you're going to congratulate me about the oil strike yesterday.
I never congratulated your father about any of his oil deals. And they were all out of state or out of the country. I most certainly am not going to congratulate you for destroying the land right across the way from me.
I'd hoped there wouldn't be any hard feelings.
Justin, you know how I feel. So get used to it.
Let's go sit down, Kate.
That's a good idea.
Are you all right?
I'm fine.
Don't let Justin get to you, honey.
I stopped letting that happen a long time ago. You know, he got all of his father's worst qualities.
Maybe being a millionaire will mellow him a little.
No, he was like that from a child. I often wondered what you ever saw in him.
Excuse me, Kate. Sometimes I wonder that myself.
Well, it's that charm of his. It'll fool you until you get to know him better. I'm so glad you married Max. He's a good man.
It's taken me a while to realize it, but now I know how good he really is.
You know, Max is more of a marshal than any of my children or grandchildren. A couple of years ago, I changed my will and bequeathed my share of the ranch to him.
Did you tell Max that?
No. He'd try to talk me out of it. Now, don't you tell him.
No. I also know that he told you that we're going to start a family.
Is that what you really want to do?
Positive.
I'm so happy for you. Both of you.
I thought Mrs. Marshall owned the ranch.
For all intents and purposes, she does. She and Barrett and Courtney own 60% of the shares. They all stick together. But Grandma controls it. She runs it. Now, if I could manage to control
You
it...
wouldn't run it. You'd drill on it.
You bet I would.
I still don't think you should have brought this up to them today, Justin. It's not the time.
I couldn't miss the chance, Ashley.
Do you really think that your brothers and sisters are going to sell to you?
One of them already has.
What's wrong, Kate?
I think Justin's up to something. And I don't know what it is.
I have this feeling about you.
What kind of feeling?
I just don't think you're as bad as you make yourself out to be.
Ah, so you're a social worker all of a sudden, huh?
I don't know. Look, I'll be back to see you tomorrow morning as soon as I can, okay?
Could do a lot worse, Joe. A lot worse. Looks like we're in for some trouble. Please don't come up here. I don't want to have to shoot you.
Yo, man! Hey, Jim. Hey, man. Come on down from that ladder. What? Well, you don't gotta do that, because I was talking to the guy, and him and old Al was gonna come up there and fix this thing right.
Oh, well, that's good, because I wanted to get down to the stable, check on the grain supply.
Say, listen, man, I'm not doing it, and I'll go with you. Okay. Listen, I was talking to Lurleen after you left.
She seems a little sweet on you, Jim. She's a real nice girl. Lonely, but real nice.
Well, look, she was telling me about her grandfather and how he's afraid of Bubba Wadsworth.
Why?
I don't know why. Something strange is going on over there, man, and I intend to find out. Come on, let's go.
Not behind you, Bob.
Join us each weekday at this time for the continuing story of Texas.
Hard to believe you won't ever walk down those stairs again, Mr. Wheeler.
Mrs. Wheeler, I thought you were going to stay over at the funeral home for a while and talk to people.
The Stryker and Vicky are coming over. They'll be here in a few minutes. Apart from that, I don't want to see any more of it.
Ah, she's doing okay, I guess. Hi, Maggie.
Hello, Ricky. Now, what brings you here? As if I didn't know.
Well, I was just on my way in to see Nita.
Well, I can save you a walk because Nita is feeding the baby, and you are going to have to wait.
Well, I really timed that well, didn't I?
Why don't you sit down here? It's going to be about a half an hour, I think. How's Elena doing?
Ah, she's doing okay, I guess. Jeb and I just got back from taking her down to the police station.
Well, you sound like there's something wrong.
Yeah, there's something wrong. I just don't understand it. It doesn't make any sense. First, Joe Foster kidnaps Elena. Then he shoots me in cold blood. Then he kidnaps Elena again. Now it seems like Elena's taken up for the guy.
Man, what's taking you so long, Elena? Me and Edgar's getting hungry here. Ain't we, Edgar? How was the service?
It was beautiful, honey, but it was sad.
How did Iris hold up? Was she all right?
Mm-hmm. Seemed to be fine.
Yeah.
You know, I can't see these without my glasses. They look mostly like bills.
Well, I could take care of the bills for you.
No, that's all right. I'll do it later.
Texas, starring Beverly McKinsey.
Good afternoon, Mrs. Bellman.
Hello, Vivian.
Mr. Bellman.
Vivian.
Come in. I'll get some food out in a minute. Can I fix anything for you?
No, thank you, Vivian. Iris, it was a lovely service.
Was lovely.
Thank you. Thank you. Let's sit down. I thought the eulogy Grant gave was very moving.
Well, I felt a little strange saying anything. Alex and I having been separated for so long.
There was no need for you to feel strange. Alex and I were separated for 25 years before we found each other again. The important thing was that you were reconciled with your brother in the end. I think it meant a great deal to Alex to have had you here.
I hope so.
Iris, I know this isn't a very good time to bring this up, but we've got to discuss some financial matters.
What financial matters?
Why don't you just drop down to my office anytime next week when it suits you? We'll talk then.
Well, if you're referring to Alex's will, I already know what's in it.
Yes, I know that, but...
It's ironic, isn't it? Everyone knew, even before Alex died.
I don't understand.
A couple of months ago, there was an attempt on Alex's life. His will was read then.
The bulk of his estate was left to me, and World Oil was divided 3 ways.
3 ways?
Yes, among myself, Dennis, and Ryan Connor. Did you see how proudly he stood there during the service today?
Iris, please.
If it weren't for Ryan, Alex might still be alive today.
You know, I was on a jury once. It was a murder case. Now, I knew perfectly well that that woman had poisoned her husband, but I could not bring myself to vote for conviction for her.
Yeah, but why, if you knew she was guilty?
Well, she had these 3 little children, and her husband, he sounded like a perfectly dreadful man. Well, it was just the way I felt about it, Ricky. But I was the only one that felt that way, and so I finally had to give in to the pressure from the others.
Well, I'm sure glad you're not the chief of Houston police, otherwise there'd be a whole bunch of criminals walking around out there free.
Oh, Ricky, now don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that what Joe Foster did was right. It was a terrible thing. But, well, anyhow, the police are going to catch him soon. And I want you to just stop worrying about it.
I remember when Alex Wheeler first came to Houston. He worked for my son. And then he made enough money to start World Oil Transport.
Well, now it's come full circle. Alex worked for your son and made his fortune. Now Justin works for World Oil and makes his fortune.
There's a difference. Alex was an honest man. Justin's not.
I hope you're wrong.
Justin has changed, Kate. His ambition frightens me a little.
Well, Justin is going to make all the money he wants from that well over there in the Harper place.
I don't think he's going to be satisfied that easily. No, Justin has changed. Something has happened to him. And I noticed it today at the funeral.
What sort of thing?
The only people he would talk to were the people who could help his career. The members of the board of World Oil. If I hadn't known better, I would have sworn that Justin was running for office.
Well, Ryan Connor's in charge of World Oil now, and he's not about to let Justin get away with anything.
Ryan looked terrible at the services.
Yeah, he must be exhausted. Trying to run the company and dealing with all the funeral arrangements. Not to mention his own personal grief.
You know that Ginny wanted to come home as soon as she heard that Alex had died. I wish for Ryan's sake that she had.
No, I think it's better that she didn't.
There must be a reason why you say that.
Well, Ginny's just beginning to sort out her life. Ryan wants her to get all her affairs in order before she comes home. Besides, she'll be home soon.
Yeah, I talked to Steve last night.
How does he sound?
Well, he sounded good.
You know, I think it was the best thing in the world to get Steve away from the ranch for a while. You know, it'll give him a chance to adjust to his father's being away.
Ginny filed the papers for divorce. Barry's agreed not to contest it. Maybe now Ginny and Ryan will be able to get their lives straightened out.
But it's Steve I'm worried about.
Oh, Steve will be just fine.
I hope so. Oh, I hope you're right.
May I join you?
Oh, of course.
I'm glad I finally had a chance to meet Alex's brother. He mentioned you a couple of times, and I gathered you had been quite close.
Yes, we were at one time.
It's good that you were here to help Iris through this time. I know she appreciates it.
Thank you.
No, thank you, Vivian.
Thank you.
Mr. Bellman?
Yes, Vivian.
I was wondering if I could speak to you. There's something I wanted to ask you.
What is it?
Well, I've been wondering about something, but I didn't know who to ask.
Ask what?
It's just that well, I've never known anybody who was cremated before, and I was wondering what happens to the ashes and like that.
Well, the ashes are put in an urn, and an urn is put in the mausoleum.
Oh. So if I want to pay my respects to Mr. Wheeler, I go there?
That's right.
Oh. Okay, thank you.
Iris is very lucky to have Vivian working for her.
Yes, she certainly is.
She's quite a character.
Yeah, I wouldn't underestimate her. She's got a lot on the ball and the most loyal person you could ever find.
Stryker, you've known Ryan Connor for quite a while. What do you think of him?
I think he's a fine young man. What do you think?
Well, he's my nephew, but I haven't seen him in a lot of years. But what Iris said about him bothers me.
Grant, Iris is talking through grief. I wouldn't pay too much attention to anything she says right now.
Yeah, that might be. But then there might be a grain of truth in what you said.
Yeah, you know, we're all in quite a shock over Alex's death. He was very strong.
Yes. Yes, he was a very persistent man.
Yes. The assassination attempt, the stroke, he lived through all that. Unshakable.
He certainly was.
Yeah. It's hard to believe that he's gone. He was just getting better. You know that he wanted to talk to me just before he died. He told his secretary to get a hold of me.
What did he want?
I don't know. I never got to see him. By the time I got to the hospital, he was gone.
Well, I gotta get back to work.
Darling, did you have any lunch?
No, but I have to drive over to the grain store, so I'll just pick up a hamburger on the way over.
Well, there's some cold chicken in the refrigerator. Why don't you have some of that?
Well, hey, Jeb, how'd it go? Was Elena able to tell the police anything useful?
Nothing that's going to help him catch Joe Foster.
Nothing?
Nothing at all. And what's more, she told the police that he's not such a bad guy.
Oh, I don't understand what the hell's wrong with my sister. I mean, Joe Foster has killed a man, shot her brother, he has held Nita Wright captive, he's kidnapped her twice, and he's stolen $1 million, and Lord knows what else he's done that we don't even know about.
Honey, just calm down. Elena's had a bad time. No wonder she can't think straight.
Elena is acting real strange, all right? Now, on the way home, we stopped at the supermarket. She goes in, she practically buys out the whole store.
Well, the poor girl hasn't had anything to eat for 3 days.
But we have enough food here for anything that she wants. Why should she buy more?
Just wanted to take it home. That's all.
That's what she did. That's exactly what she did.
Well, is that where she is now?
That's where she's staying, yeah.
Well, that doesn't surprise me.
Why do you say that?
Because, honey, she doesn't want to come up here and have to answer any of my questions.
Honey, will you take it easy on her? Doesn't it make any... Aren't you happy that at least she's safe, huh?
No, because I just can't understand how she can be so sympathetic to a criminal like Joe Foster. Now, sometimes I just think, Rena, that we ought to take her to a doctor, make her go to a doctor.
Well, I've read about people who've been taken hostage, and they do some strange things. Sometimes they're even friendly and understanding to their captor. I mean, if he was nice to her, if he didn't hurt her, then maybe that's all she...
For God's sakes, Rena!
In any case, he's probably out of the country right now. So why don't we just forget about him and give Elena a chance to forget about him? All right?
Max, Rena's got a point.
I don't know.
Jeb, do you want a chicken sandwich?
What? Yeah, okay. Have it on toast.
I wonder if Elena ought not to stay right here in this house with me. I'm not sure it's all right for her to stay in the Decker house alone.
Well, she wants to stay there. She wants to stay in her own room.
That's understandable.
Well, I don't think it is.
Why do you say that, Max?
Well, I would think that she'd want to stay with people who love her, can protect her.
Well, she doesn't want to be protected right now.
Jeb, she was scared to death the last time she got away from this Joe Foster. She wouldn't even sing at the coop.
I know.
I'll talk to her, Max.
Well, I'd be real glad if you could find out what that girl is really thinking and feeling.
I'll do my best.
I know.
Hey, there isn't any chicken in the refrigerator.
Well, now, I cooked 2 chickens yesterday, and we ate only one of them last night. Must be there somewhere.
Man, would you look at this feast that your friend Elena brought us? So what would you like? Like a little light meat or dark meat? Well, you just probably like a nice juicy mouse, wouldn't you? Well, I'll tell you, if I had my druthers, I wouldn't even want to stay in this hayloft too much longer. But, let's look at the alternatives, Edgar. We got being on the lam with no money, or getting picked up by the cops for murder. Yeah, this hayloft is beginning to look pretty good. For the time being, anyway. At least long enough for me and Elena to draw up a plan. Hey, would you listen to me, Edgar? Already, I'm including Elena in my plans. Bet you she's going to have something to say about that, huh?
Where are Mr. Bellman and Mr. Wheeler?
They're still in the sunroom.
Thank you. Oh, Terry Decker called from Paris.
I thought she would. Rena called her and told her about Alex.
She wanted to come to the funeral, but there wasn't time. Maybe I should have delayed the service for a day.
Oh, no, Iris. Terry wouldn't have wanted you to do that.
She was a good secretary. She worked for Alex for 10 years. She probably knew more about him than I did. So did you.
No, Iris. The man I knew was kind, attentive, considerate. But a man who could never share his feelings or his heart. Those things were always reserved for you.
Thank you, Vicky. That means a great deal to me.
Stryker, is Dennis's hearing tomorrow?
Yes, it is.
I've lost all sense of time. I don't even know what day it is.
Grant, when is your daughter due to arrive in Houston?
As soon as she's bored with Europe, which is probably in the next day or two.
I'm looking forward to meeting her.
Well, I hope she finds something to do to keep her busy this summer.
Maybe I can find something for her at the station.
Excuse me. Ashley.
Hello.
Hello, Iris. Everyone?
Well, Iris, I think we should be going. Now, if there's anything at all you need, please call me.
Thank you. And thank you both for coming.
Right.
Justin Marshall, I understand your oil project has been successful.
That's right, Iris. It's a major oil strike.
And Alex's faith in you was justified. That's good.
I just hope that Ryan Connor doesn't decide to dump this project now that he's running World Oil.
Don't worry. I won't allow that to happen.
Okay, it's so hot. Probably should go back up to the cabin. Ought to change my clothes and start doing some work, but I don't know what's wrong with me today. Maybe I'm lazy, but I just can't get moving.
Well, why don't you just stay here and keep me company?
Oh, all right.
You know, I just can't figure out why Guy didn't leave me a note telling me he was going to eat that chicken. He never takes food without telling me.
Maybe he didn't need it.
Then who did? You know, I can't imagine what else happened to it. It was in the refrigerator this morning.
Are you sure?
Well, yes, I saw it there when I was cooking breakfast.
Hi, Miss Kate.
Lurleen. Honey. Oh, I heard you were home from college.
I was over a couple of times to see you, but you weren't here. Hello, Rena.
Hello, honey.
Oh, you look prettier every time I see you.
Well, it's always nice to hear. Thank you. Are you finished college?
No, I have one more semester to go, then I graduate. I was planning to go to summer school, but my granddaddy wanted me back home here because...
Probably because of the oil drilling.
I know how you folks feel about all that, Miss Kate. Really, I do. You too, Rena. I hope it isn't going to affect our friendship none.
Oh, Lurleen, it was your grandfather's doing, not yours.
It's changed our whole lives, Miss Kate.
It's changed a lot of lives.
And maybe not for the best.
I know this is tearing Max up.
Mm-hmm.
I feel real bad about it. Believe me, I do. But he's hanging on to this notion that God created Texas for ranching and nothing else. But I don't think God would have put the oil in the ground if he didn't want people to drill for it, get rich, and be happy.
Well, I'm glad you're happy, Lurleen.
Would you be in Houston sometime with an hour or two to spare?
I think so. Why do you ask?
Because I was thinking, if I met you in one of those fancy stores, maybe you could help me buy some new clothes. The kind you wear.
Well, sure, I'd be glad to.
And maybe you could help me decide what to do with my hair. I was thinking about having it done like Tammy Wynette, but then I was thinking maybe I'd have it done like Jenny's instead.
Did you say Jenny's?
Yes, what do you think?
Well, yes, I think it would be very nice on you.
Did Jenny and her brother get along real well? Are they real close?
As far as I'm concerned, they are.
Now, I have it done like Jenny's. I think Jeb would like it a lot better that way.
I'm sure you would.
I understand that Jenny took Steve to Virginia to visit with her father.
Yes.
I'm really sorry about Jenny and Barrett breaking up, Miss Kate.
Thank you, Lurleen. But I think it will all turn out for the best in the end. Sometimes these things do.
I guess. Is, Jeb around, or did he go into town?
He and Max went down to the stables a few minutes ago.
Oh, well, I think I'll go down and see that new colt Max was talking about. Bye.
Hey, Max.
Hey, Jim.
How you doing?
Okay, listen, will you go over to the hardware store and pick up those supplies I ordered this morning?
Yes, sure, I can do that.
Okay.
Say, look, Max.
What?
If I can find someone to take over for a minute, will you give me it off?
Sounds like you got something important lined up.
I'm thinking of asking Lurleen out for a date.
You kidding?
Well, you're the one who said she was sweet on me.
Well, she is, but...
But I think what I'm getting at here is I think I might be able to get some information out of her about the oil well and about Bubba Wadsworth.
Well, is that the only reason you're going to ask her out?
No, that's not the only reason. I like her. She's a lot of fun, you know. She's got a good sense of humor and everything.
Listen, Jeb.
But wait. You don't think it's a good idea?
Well, it's just that I've known Lurleen since she was a little girl, and I don't like to see people taken advantage of.
No, I'm not going to take advantage of her, you know. We're going to have some fun. What's the matter with that, huh?
Well, nothing, but just don't go leading her on, because she's sweet and naive.
She's sweet. Now, naive, I don't know if I'd say that or not. No, listen, don't worry. I'm not going to hurt her. I like her. I'll take care of her.
Okay, I know you will.
And if I just happen to get some information about Bubba Wadsworth...
And I hope you do. The end will justify the means.
Sometimes it does. Just as long as we're all winners here.
Well, now, I don't think that this is the time to discuss business.
My husband spent his life building World Oil. I have an obligation to see to it that his wishes are carried out.
I know. I understand.
What makes you think Ryan will want to drop the idea of establishing an oil production division at World Oil?
He wants to concentrate on transport. Iris, he doesn't want to spend the time looking for the oil.
Do you know why he feels that way?
Well, oil production is very expensive. It's time-consuming. It's a terrific gamble. Ryan Connor doesn't want to take the risk.
Why not? Isn't it important for the company?
Ryan Connor doesn't think so. He's got a fleet of oil tankers which are guaranteed income for the company. Ryan Connor isn't very adventurous.
I would have thought that Mr. Connor would have been here today.
I didn't invite him. I don't think he would have come anyway.
Why not?
Because of the way he treated his uncle.
But I always thought that Mr. Connor was very kind and considerate to Mr. Wheeler.
Working him so hard, discussing business with him immediately after he began to recover from a stroke. That's not kind, darling.
Well, Mr. Wheeler did ask to see him. I'm the one who called him.
Sweetheart, you were only following instructions. But Ryan should have declined to see Alex until he was stronger. He should have known better. He should have known that Alex was in no condition to deal with company problems.
Maybe Ryan wanted to let Alex know that everything at World Oil was running smoothly, that there was nothing for him to worry about.
I doubt that very much. I think Ryan wanted to ensure his future position in the company. And in doing so, he caused Alex to have another stroke.
Do you think that this Joe Foster could have killed Chris Shaw?
Yes, I do, or at least had something to do with it.
Is there anything else you can do before the sentencing tomorrow?
I can't think of a thing.
All right. In that case, I suggest that you try thinking about something else.
All right. I'll try, but I can't promise.
You know, you're worse than Max worrying about that oil well.
I feel I let the kids down on the Justin project.
Why?
I should have found some way to stop that drilling.
Honey, you did everything you possibly could do. You mustn't feel guilty about it.
Rena was counting on me.
Rena knows you did the best you could. She doesn't expect more. I think Max and Rena will find some way to adjust to this situation.
I don't think they will.
And so he said, I'm not going to do it.
Can I come in?
Hey, Lurleen, well, it looks to me like you're already in.
Well, I don't want to interrupt you boys if you're working.
Boys? I've been called a boy quite some time, Lurleen. I sure appreciate the compliment. And, well, as for interrupting, you weren't, because I was just going on up to the cabin.
I don't want to run you off.
Oh, no, you're not. Listen, Jeb, I'll see you later, and don't forget about the hardware store, okay? Lurleen?
I hope Max isn't upset with me.
Why would he be upset?
Because my granddaddy agreed to let Justin and Bubba Wadsworth drill for oil on our land.
He knows you don't have anything to do with that.
I still can't understand why he's so dead set against drilling for oil.
You can't understand that? See, the land, that's important to Max. That's the most important thing in his life.
Well, I guess different things are important to different people. What is it they say? Different strokes for different folks?
Yeah. You don't mind walking out your front porch into all the oil wells?
You kidding? I don't mind having all that money coming in. That's what I don't mind.
Well, how can it be coming in right now? I mean, they just capped one of them off.
Well, it won't be very long, though.
Yeah. Hey,
What is it?
well, I was just wondering, I bet you haven't really gone out and celebrated the well coming in.
Well, not exactly. Just the beers we had over at my place the other day.
No, that doesn't count. I'm talking about a celebration. I'm talking about a real proper celebration.
I wouldn't know where to go.
Well, I would. That's what we're going to do. We're going to go out and we're going to celebrate this thing real proper like, okay?
You mean you and me?
Yeah. You and me. That's, well, if you don't want to go out,
Oh, are you kidding? I'd love to go.
Well, I think we should go and let you get some rest.
You don't have to leave.
Oh, we just wanted to come by and check on you.
That was very thoughtful of you both. I appreciate your coming.
We just want you to be all right.
Your Aunt Hildy called me last night. It was so nice of her.
If there's anything that we can do, Iris, you just let us know.
Thank you, Justin. I will.
Justin.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Iris, why don't you go upstairs and lie down and get some rest?
No, I can't lie down. I don't want to be alone right now.
That Ashley is a very nice lady.
Yes. Her Aunt Hildy was my best friend in boarding school.
Still keep in touch?
Occasionally. At Christmas and, about twice a year. One of us will pick up the phone and we'll talk for an hour or two.
Catching up.
Yes. Ashley's a lot like Hildy.
Iris, can I get you something?
No, thank you. I was just going to check on Alex. I can't get used to his not being here anymore. I never knew I could miss someone so much. Do you know how I met Alex?
No.
I remember it so well. I was at a party on a yacht. And out of nowhere came this very handsome stranger. Alex Wheeler, from Texas.
Miss Corey, that young man says he knows you. Shall I ask him to come in?
But I don't believe I remember him.
Hi there, Julie Lee. I'm Alex Wheeler of Texas. And you, of course, are unforgettable.
Of course. It's all right, Uncle. So, tell me, Mr. Wheeler, what brings you here? Have we really met before?
No, we haven't, Miss Corey. I was at a party over on the Blue Dolphin over there.
That huge yacht? Oh, it must have been some party.
No, not really. I was about to suggest poker, and then I saw you across the bay. And the ladies on board aren't half as fascinating, so I thought I'd come over and meet you.
So you just brazened your way onto the ship? And here we are.
But we really haven't met. I don't know your first name.
It's Iris. Tell me, Mr. Wheeler, are you always looking at?
Alex, please. And, yes, I am. On something's important. And my daddy raised me that way. Out of the country. We always go out when we want.
You were so young and beautiful. Now he's gone. Forever.
Where do you want to go?
Oh, well, you choose.
I've never been out anywhere, only to places like Burley's Barbecue.
You ever heard of a place called the Coop?
Is that where Elena Decker sings?
That's right, yeah. We'll go there, okay? We'll go there. That's where we'll go.
That's a great idea.
All right, then we're settled, okay?
Hey, Lurleen.
All right.
Hi,
Hey, Ricky, what's happening?
What are you so excited about?
Jeb and me are going out tonight to celebrate the well coming in at my place.
Oh, yeah? Well, I think that's great.
What time do you want to pick me up?
About 7 o'clock.
I guess I better go get ready then.
Hey, Lurleen, wait. You got a long time till 7 o'clock.
But I gotta go to the shopping mall and buy a new dress. Something that'll really knock your eyes out.
Looks like you got yourself a new friend there, buddy.
Yeah, it looks that way.
Yeah, Lurleen's a real nice kid. I've known her for years.
Yeah, she's a lot of fun.
Is that why you're going out with her, for fun?
Well, Ricky, I was talking to Lorraine the other day, and she was telling me that, how shy she is and stuff like that. So I just thought, I thought I'd just take her out and we'd celebrate.
Does Elena know you're going to be taking Lurleen out?
No, she doesn't. But, I don't think there's any reason to really tell her. But, it's not really a date or anything like that.
Well, Lurleen seems to think it is.
We're just going to have fun.
Elena likes you, Jeb. She likes you a lot.
I know she does, Ricky.
Well, don't you think it might bother her that you're taking Lurleen out?
Look, I thought, I like Elena a lot. You know that. I thought you always understood that. Elena and I, we're friends. We're real good friends.
Elena thinks you're more than that, Jeb.
I don't think so.
What do you mean?
Oh, Ricky, she's changed a lot, a real lot, since Foster let her go.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, I can't put my finger on it, but it's a big change there.
You're worried about Steve, aren't you?
I'm worried that he won't accept Ryan.
Give it a little time, Kate. It'll work out.
Well, I know Steve will try, because he wants to please Ginny. He wants to make her happy. But I think it'll take a long time.
I think that Max will be able to help. Max and Steve have always been very close.
I was counting on Max to do that. I count on Max to do a lot of things.
So do I.
Thought I had left my glasses here. Oh, here they are. Here's that catalog I set for you.
Thank you.
Here's a letter from Dawn.
You haven't heard from her in a while.
Not since Easter.
What's wrong, Kate?
She's going to Paris.
Well, that's wonderful. She's always wanted to go to Paris. And Terry's there now.
I love what I'm doing. I enjoy painting very much. I've sold a couple of paintings in the last 6 months, but my nest egg was getting very low. Thank heavens for Justin.
Justin?
He called Dawn and offered to buy her share of the ranch, and she sold it to him. So that's what he's up to.
That's what he was talking to Paige about at the funeral.
I'll bet my last dollar on it.
What are you thinking about?
Oh, I was just thinking about how sad I felt for Mrs. Wheeler.
Sad. Yes. She's got 50 million more bucks in her bank account. Multinational organization.
Oh, for goodness sakes, Justin. None of those things mean anything to her without Mr. Wheeler.
Oh, I think they'll give her some comfort.
I doubt it, Justin. Mrs. Wheeler was a very wealthy woman in her own right before she ever married Alex Wheeler.
I guess you're right.
I just feel so sorry for her.
You're feeling sorry for everyone today.
Why do you say that?
Well, you were certainly feeling sorry for Ryan Connor, defending him to Iris like that.
Oh, well, you were defending him too, or have you forgotten?
The difference is, Ashley, I didn't mean a word that I said. I get the feeling that you did.
Justin, I just don't like to see people blamed for things that are not their fault. I spent a lot more time with Mr. Wheeler than Ryan Connor did. I mean, if anybody wore him out, it was me.
I think Ryan did his share.
I heard that he didn't even get to speak to Mr. Wheeler, that as soon as he went into the hospital room, he saw that Alex was already dead.
That's what Ryan says. I don't know if that's true.
Now, what is that supposed to mean?
It's just an observation, Ashley, that's all.
Well, I don't think that anybody can be blamed for Alex Wheeler having a stroke. I mean, chances are it would have happened, whether anybody talked to him or not.
Who knows? This business about Dennis finally acknowledging Alex as his natural father. I bet you Alex was pretty excited about that.
He was.
Did he discuss it with you?
Yes.
Well, are you going to tell me what he said?
You can hear it in Mr. Wheeler's own words.
I think I'm gonna go over to the house and see how Lena's doing.
Okay. Hey, Max, I thought you went up to the barn.
Yeah, the guy told me that Ricky was down here.
Yeah, I was just talking to Jeb. We were talking about how much Elena's changed.
Yeah, she sure has. I think she's flipped out.
I think you could be right.
Yeah, well, don't you think maybe you'd be a little strange, too, after being held hostage? Give her a few days. She'll get herself together.
Yeah, maybe you're right.
Well, look, I'm going to go get those supplies, okay? So,
Okay.
I'll see you boys later.
All right.
So long.
Go on.
What's the matter?
Oh, nothing. It's just Jeb's taking out Lurleen tonight on a date.
Yeah, I know. He told me.
The only reason he's doing it is so he can get some information out of her about Bubba Wadsworth's operation over there in the Harper property.
Well, what's wrong with that if he gets what you want? You've been hot to get some info on Bubba for a long time.
Yeah, as long as he doesn't take advantage of Lurleen.
I think Jeb's the one you ought to be worried about. If anybody's going to be taking advantage, it's Lurleen. Hey, where's my beautiful sister-in-law? I thought maybe I'd go over and pay her a visit.
Yeah, well, she went up to the house to be with Kate. Say, listen, maybe you can help me with Bubba Wadsworth.
Me?
Yeah, he was arrested on a stock manipulation charge about 10 years ago. I thought maybe you could ask one of your police buddies to go down to the station there and check and see if Bubba Wadsworth has any previous arrests.
Yeah, I guess I could do that. It's easy enough.
Could you do this afternoon?
Well, sure, but I don't know if you're going to like what I find out.
Why not?
Well, I don't think Alex Wheeler would have had him working around World Oil if he had a police record.
Well, just check it out anyway, will you?
Yeah, okay.
Did you talk to Justin?
No, I called Paige.
What does she have to say?
She wasn't too glad to hear from me, but I told her there were some things I wanted to talk to her about.
Justin is the one that you should have talked to.
There's no use to talk to Justin. It's like talking to a stone wall. Besides, you can't depend on him telling the truth.
Now, wait a minute, Kate. You and Courtney and Barry own 60% of the ranch together. And Justin Paige and Dawn own 40%, right?
Yes.
Well, even if Paige sells her portion to Justin, you still have control. You don't think that Courtney and Barry would sell, do you?
Oh, no, I don't. And if Paige doesn't sell, why, he won't have any reason to even approach Barrett and Courtney.
I got an idea. Why don't you buy Paige's share yourself?
Well, it all depends upon how much Justin's offered her for it. I may not have that kind of money.
Kate, darling, I'll buy it and I'll keep it in a trust for you until you're ready to buy it back from me.
I'll talk to Paige, and then we'll see.
I want my will changed. Dennis, my son, will be Wheeler Oil.
He wanted to see Stryker Bellman to have his will changed.
That's what he says on the tape. If he'd lived one more day, you'd have seen Mr. Bellman. There would have been a different will.
Dennis would have taken over World Oil.
That's what I think, too. Listen, I think you ought to be happy with what you have. What do you think would have happened to your oil project then? At least Ryan Connor is a known quantity. Now, Dennis Carrington, that's another matter.
Ryan Connor must be very happy that the will wasn't changed. He would have lost everything.
Justin, that's mine.
No, this is yours.
Join us each weekday at this time for the continuing story of Texas.